Tonight on DC News Now.
Because of the violence we're seeing across this country, across this city.
Is the president set to follow through with his threat to take over the district? The plan that might be in the works to bring more federal law enforcement to DC.
A controversial data center project at a standstill. The judge's ruling and what this means for neighbors in Prince William County.
We're still tracking a bit more of that sunshine out there for your Friday, along with unseasonably cool temperatures sticking around before we really crank up the heat.
A man facing federal hate crime charges in the murder of 2 Israeli embassy staffers.
There should be a zero tolerance policy for anti-Semitism and for all forms of hatred.
The new numbers are showing a rise in those crimes in the U.S.
New global tariffs now in effect, the uncertainty for businesses and how they could impact your wallet.
We are following breaking news tonight. President Trump is putting more federal law enforcement officers onto D.C. streets within hours. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for D.C. News Now at 9. I'm Susan Tran.
And I'm Chris Flanagan. D.C. News Now has learned it will begin at midnight. D.C. News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live from the D.C. Armory in Southeast.
And Max, the plan includes more federal officers for a stretch of 7 days. Tell us more.
Well, Chris and Susan, these details just came out from the White House within the last half hour, so we are still learning more. One thing it doesn't include is the D.C. National Guard, which we have been potentially expecting because the president threatened that. What it does include is more than a dozen federal agencies led by the U.S. Park Police. They will be meeting at 11 o'clock tonight and then deploying onto the streets of D.C. starting at midnight. We have learned from the White House that these federal officers will be in marked cars. Their goal is to be highly visible, and they will be in places they call highly trafficked tourist areas and other hotspots across the city.
That includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
President Trump's push to take over the district has been clear, but this is the latest effort.
Are you considering taking over the D.C. police? Is that an option on the table?
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous.
The president has threatened to utilize 2 of his powers, temporarily taking over the D.C. Police Department and deploying the D.C. National Guard. Both of those steps can be taken without congressional approval.
Both the Trump administration as well as the Metropolitan Police Department are looking to increase law enforcement efforts because of the violence we're seeing across this country, across this city.
A strategy the White House says will make the nation's capital safer. It doesn't come without concerns.
I don't think it would help. It would just make people even more mad. You know how in LA the riot started and all that?
Well, I don't think he sees a vision because he's not out in the city and stuff like that. He's just sitting up there in the office.
It's important to note violent crime in the district is down 26% compared to this time last year. And in 2024, there was a 35% decrease in violent crime after a historically dangerous 2023. Now, we are, again, still learning more details about this effort. We do know that it is a 7-day effort, though the White House says that could be extended if it decides. It also has cooperation from a couple of other police departments not under the purview of the federal government, including Metropolitan Police Department and Metro Transit Police.
Max Marcilla reporting live tonight in Southeast with major developments there. Max, thanks. And this all comes as police release a new photo of a person of interest in an attempted carjacking this weekend in Northwest. Investigators have already arrested 2 15-year-olds in the case. The president saying they're part of the group who beat up a former prominent DOJ employee.
The president posting this photo on social media saying the victim is Edward Korstein, who's bloodied here. In a police report, it says officers on patrol saw the assault on the 19-year-old, intervened, and arrested 2 teens. The violence has reignited President Trump's threats of taking over the district.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jackie Lair. And boy, we are enjoying this cooler than usual temps.
I know. I feel like a lot of people have enjoyed it. You know,
Yes.
a lot more
Definitely.
people outside. We saw a little bit of that haze earlier today. That was from the Canadian wildfire smoke. Thankfully, really not impacting our air quality all too much. Here's a view of those high temperatures today Today, though, with a little bit more of that sunshine we did see those highs reach into those lower 80s. Quite a few more areas today, including the 80s compared to what we had yesterday. Temperatures out there right now on your Thursday night. We're seeing those temperatures gradually falling. Upper 60s back out towards our westernmost areas right now. Upper 70s, though, in D.C., along with Frederick coming in at 77. That radar, though, really winding down any of that shower activity. We did have a couple of those earlier right around that evening commute. Those have since fizzled. A wider view of satellite and radar show you this high pressure up towards New England. That's going to continue to block really much of any system trying to push into our area the next several days, meaning we're still going to be tracking those dry conditions through Friday into the weekend and to start off that next work week too. But yes, we still have a little bit of that haze out there thanks to the Canadian wildfire smoke. Now tomorrow, can we see a little bit of that again? Yes, it is possible that we still have that before eventually it should fade away. Saturday looking much clearer out there as any of this Canadian wildfire smoke drifts its way farther out towards the west. So you may notice a little bit of that haze out there tomorrow, but I'm thinking Saturday we should be clearing that out. Lows tonight falling back into those 60s across the region, those mid to upper 60s though closer towards the district. Highs tomorrow, we're back into those lower 80s yet again. This is still below normal for this time of the year, and that humidity still remaining relatively comfortable. But as we look towards that next work week, humidity will be cranking back in along with that heat too. So I have more details and then that summary 7-day forecast coming up.
All right, Jackie, we'll see you then. All new tonight at 9 in Virginia. A man is accused of trying to meet kids online for sex.
Deputies have arrested Travis Peters. They say they found several devices showing child sex abuse images. Now, we are showing you his mugshot because investigators believe there could be more victims out there. The 27-year-old faces charges including trying to have sex with a child. This continues to be an active investigation, and police say they're still trying to find more children he may have had contact with.
And new developments in the case against the man accused of gunning down 2 Israeli embassy employees as they left an event at the Capitol Jewish Museum in May.
And as we first told you last night, he could now face the death penalty if convicted. Elias Rodriguez now faces federal murder and hate crime charges. Prosecutors say there's new evidence from a manifesto where they say he explained the murders were a demonstration of his hatred for the people of Israel. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to have much more on the new evidence. There's also a new FBI report showing a rise in religiously motivated hate crimes happening all across the country.
Those statistics show crimes against the Jewish community continue to reach record highs. DC News Now's Mark Hall joining us live here in studio tonight. Mark, these details are giving Jewish leaders real pause.
Well, Chris and Susan, the concern is real, and the numbers will show you why. The FBI data takes a look at incidents from all of last year and also in 2023, and they're the highest numbers since the Bureau began reporting this information. Ted Deutsch with the American Jewish Committee says that Jews are being targeted not just out of hate, but because some believe that violence or intimidation is justified by global events. Deutsch says that American Jews are facing hate while walking the synagogue, dropping their children off at school, and college students are targeted on campus. Now, although the FBI reports that hate crimes in general are down, hate crimes against Jews are not. Take a look at the numbers. The FBI reports that religiously motivated incidents increased by 3.1% from 2023 to 2024, while anti-Jewish incidents have increased by 5.8% from 1,832 in 2023 to 1,938 in 2024. Now, Jewish folks only account for 2% of the U.S. population, yet we're the target of roughly 70% of religiously motivated hate crimes. Now, Gila Siegel-Franklin is the COO of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington. She says change will take time and a team effort across the board.
We have been working with state and local and federal officials on increasing funds for institutional security and ensuring that our laws are as strong as possible. Our hate crime statutes on both the federal and state level is also critical.
Siegel says that education and interaction is so important. She says it can play a big part in preventing hate crimes from occurring. Now, according to the American Jewish Committee, 33% of American Jews polled say that they have been the target of anti-Semitism either in person or virtually. Chris?
All right, Mark Hall reporting live in studio. Mark, thanks. In the district, kids got some hands-on experience learning what it's like to be a firefighter. DC Fire hosting a STEM camp at their training facility. You can see them here. They were handling fire hoses, learning about fire trucks, and even learning how to safely evacuate buildings.
We are helping you stretch your dollar with deals as you prepare to send those kids back to class. Metro Transit Police, they are hosting a back-to-school bash later this month. They're going to be giving out free school supplies and haircuts. It's all happening August 23rd over at the Fort Totten Station parking lot in Northeast. The party starts at 11 and it goes until 3.
And kids enjoying a back-to-school bash in the Bellevue neighborhood in Southwest. There are all types of activities. They enjoy some of their final weeks of summer break. They got a whole bunch of freebies, things like haircuts and even school supplies.
Giving away about 1,500 to 2,000 backpacks today that have come in from 14 different partners. And today we're really proud to have AmeriHealth of Washington, D.C. here.
We're all together in the community, and it just shows how the community come together, and we're here for the community, and they come out.
Well, the kids' families also were able to find information about health, wellness, and support resources. All new tonight in Virginia, a massive data center project in Prince William County cannot move forward. A judge ruling in favor of homeowners who say the county did not advertise its zoning changes properly.
DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live there in Prince William County. And Daniel, this has been a hotly debated topic for years now.
Susan and Chris, it absolutely has been, and neighbors I talked with today are very happy at the decision that was handed down by that judge here. Now, it's not the end of this whole battle, but it does mean that data centers won't be put in their neighborhoods anytime soon. Since late 2022, the Prince William Digital Gateway project has been the subject of numerous lawsuits. In December 2023, the County Board of Supervisors rezoned land in Gainesville to allow for data centers. But Thursday, a judge ruled the rezoning was void.
The Digital Gateway has been overturned.
Judge Kimberly Irving ruled the advertised notice provided by the county didn't comply with state code and county ordinance.
The county made a mistake in advertising. So simple. It's like convicting Al Capone on tax evasion. You didn't get him on murder, you got him on tax evasion.
The judge also agreed the county didn't follow the law when documents requested by homeowners weren't available before that December meeting.
It's a win for transparency into how our government operates. It's a win for making sure that our government operates the way that it's supposed to in terms of following our regulations, following state statute.
Chris Wall, one of the plaintiffs, doesn't want to see data centers next to his neighborhood, but isn't opposed to data centers in western Prince William County.
We're just opposed to deep-pocketed developers thinking they can come in and run roughshod over our processes, over the county's rules.
And I did reach out to Prince William County. The spokesperson sent me a message saying, in part, that the county appreciates the court's careful consideration of this case, and the county's attorney will be informing the board how to proceed. We're live in Manassas. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.